think it's safe to say that for Hatman and I, the Metal Gear franchise is probably, it's my favorite, and it's probably one of Hatman's.
It's definitely up there for me.
So today, we're going to just have a special episode and talk about it and the literary themes within it. So, let's go ahead and get to it. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, and we promised this for y'all, didn't we?
Welcome to Micah and The Hatman. Live. Before we get to the Metal Gear, though, I watched a thing, Hatman.
A thing?
Yes.
What thing did you watch?
I watched a show called Kamen Rider Ex-Aid.
Ah, so you're fulfilling a request, then.
Yes, and I have to say, this is the weirdest Super Sentai anything that I've ever watched, but also probably one of the more entertaining. Kamen Rider Ex-Aid is basically, if video games could give you superpowers and turn you into a Kamen Rider with really bad hair. I shit you not. The lead character of Ex-Aid gets his powers from a game that's like Mario Brothers. And has anime hair. And it's kind of hilarious. And then the character who's based off of first-person shooters, I shit you not, has a fucking emo coif as a robot. Like, it covers his eye. It's hilarious. And then they have another one, a super serious dude who his character is just like a knight. You know, his game is like an RPG, like Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. And the whole gimmick is that all the Kamen Riders in this are doctors. And yeah. They basically have to use their abilities to cure a disease that creates monsters.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's... I will say, right now that it is it's an interesting little story. It feels like at points like if you tried to do a live-action anime. So it kind of made me realize that a lot of anime tropes are just Japanese.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So here's the interesting thing about it, though. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself quite a bit, actually. It's definitely not like the mature sorts of shows that I enjoy, but this was a good kind of all ages show. It kind of has a little something for everybody. If I had kids, this is a show I would watch with my kids. Because it's the sort of thing that I miss from the show, the like action and comic book shows that I used to watch as a kid. Because the thing about this is that there's consequence here. There's a plot that's always being moved forward piece by piece. Because this is like a 50 episode show, but the plot is always moving. There's no filler episodes, not really. There's like points where they'll recap things, but there's no like actual filler. You know, they're always moving the plot forward. There's always some sort of development.
Interesting.
Or something that leads to the next thing. It's a constantly evolving story. And
interesting.
Yeah, and it's not bad at all. And not to mention, like, each of the writers they don't just like instantly form a team like the frickin' Power Rangers. There's actually personality differences that they have to overcome to work together. And because they have that, when they actually do finally work together, it's very satisfying. So, I have to say, I definitely enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. The only issue that I had is that the final bad guy is Dio Brando, basically, from JoJo. He's basically Dio.
Oh, God.
He even has time stop.
Oh, God.
And he even goes muda muda muda.
So,
and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Why are you Dio?
Does he also have a road roller?
No steamrollers. But God, if he had thrown one at somebody, I would have screamed. I would have probably quit the show. I'd be like, this is a fucking ripoff. So that is like the only drawback for me. Is like the final boss basically is kind of weak. Because yeah, he is basically Dio, and I'm like, fuck you. Like, seriously. I have nothing against Dio in JoJo. I don't like it when other people rip off Dio. Like, he really, really felt like Dio, and it really just is like, oh, God damn it. But the funny thing about it is that he, like Dio, he never won. Like, the main villain shows up, and after he does one kind of neat thing, he just gets his ass beat. Like, for the rest of the show. Every time he appears, it's hilarious. So, yeah, it was it was fun times though. I enjoyed myself with it. Like I said, it's one of those things like, if I ever had children, like, this is the kind of show that I would want them to watch. Like this, or Freakazoid, or something like that, you know, from when I was younger. So yeah, it gets a thumbs up from me. Pretty good recommendation. I want to thank Chaos Sonic for that one. He just sent me something here. Let me have a look and see what it says. Oh, goodness. You're sleepy. He says, it makes me wonder how you would react to Kamen Rider Kuga and Kamen Rider Game. And also, this even had a crossover with Kamen Rider Ghost in a special movie. Also, if I do show you the true end movie for Ex-Aid, you would have to watch the end credits scene. Fair enough. One thing that I found interesting about this is that this one actually sets up the next Kamen Rider by having the next one appear. Very briefly. Not to mention, the Japanese Red Ranger from their version of Power Rangers shows up too. Very brief cameo, but he's there. I found that kind of interesting. I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. So, I imagine that if I was a Japanese kid, I probably would have lost my shit. So, all right. So there be my review of that. I will say, though, like, people have asked me how I would write the Power Rangers. That's kind of the way I would want to do it. Is I would want to write a long-form story where there's gradual development instead of just, like, everybody gets along. So, Hatman. Question for you.
Question for me.
What was your first Metal Gear game, Solid game? Or just Metal Gear game in general?
The very first Metal Gear Solid.
Well, tell me about the experience.
So, the first exposure I ever had to Metal Gear general was through Egoraptor's Metal Gear Awesome series on Newgrounds.
Huh.
And I knew nothing about fucking Metal Gear before, and then afterwards, I was just sort of like, that's cool. Maybe I'll play that game someday. So I'm at my uncle's house. My uncle was responsible for getting me into video games by handing me a Super Nintendo controller when I was 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a copy of Metal Gear Solid on his shelf that I've noticed for the first time. I'm like, oh shit, you got Metal Gear. That's pretty cool. And he's like, have you ever played it before? I'm like, no, I haven't. You got a PlayStation, right? Of course I got a PlayStation. Duh. I grew up in the 90s. What do you think? He's like, take this, play it. I'm like, okay. When do you want it back? He's like, no. Take it and play it. So, okay, free game. And I played it that night on my little PS1, like the mini PS1 with the screen on it and everything. And holy shit, that game blew my goddamn mind. This was, I think I was in high school, actually. So it wasn't really that long ago. Over 10 years ago, but all things considered, not that long ago. And I loved it. I thought it was great. Although, in all honesty, I did not realize the whole back of the CD case for Meryl's codec number thing. I just called every single codec number until I got her.
Oh,
I
God.
did not realize that was a fourth wall break. Because, I looked through my inventory. I was like, what the I don't have a fucking CD case. Fuck this. I'm just going to call every codec number till I get her. And that's how I solved that problem. And the Psycho Mantis thing I already knew about because that had been parodied so many times before, so I knew about it. But I didn't have any saves, so my memory was completely clean. But it was still a fun fight. Psycho Mantis remains one of my favorite boss fights of all time. I think I got the bad ending my first time too. So I didn't save Meryl. I yielded in the torture chamber. But that just meant that I got the cloaking, so that was a much better item to get in the end, if you ask me.
Samurai Video Bear donates $15. Says, react to the educational video on the sexuality of traps. But it's anime cringe.
Jesus God.
Anime.
I don't know, that might just be cringy.
I might make Hat do that one.
Anyway, yeah, so that was what it was like for me to play through Metal Gear Solid for the first time.
So, my Metal Gear experience actually starts on the NES.
Ooh.
I played the NES Metal Gear, and it was fucking miserable.
The poo-poo one.
Yeah. Oh, Chaos Sonic throws in another buck and says, the brief cameo with the Red Ranger was basically to set up what is superhero Taisen movies, which Ex-Aid also had a cameo in that Sentai for an episode. Basically, those cameos set up the crossover between Super Sentai Kamen Rider. Okay, that makes sense. Anyway. So I played the NES Metal Gear. It was very not good. And then after that, I didn't play another Metal Gear game for a while. I played the demo for Metal Gear Solid at Walmart at the nearby Walmart one town over when I lived in the country. And I'm gonna actually move my microphone here because I'm getting tired. So I'm starting to slump. But I wasn't that impressed with the demo. Because all it really was is you sneak into Shadow Moses. That's it. So it's literally a demo you can complete in 5 minutes. So I didn't really find it that interesting. But I had a friend who played it, and he's like, yeah, it's really good. You should give it a try sometime. Well, I didn't own a PlayStation. I would have had to borrow his. And my parents were going through a divorce at the time, so it's not like I really had time for video games. So, the first Metal Gear Solid game I played was Metal Gear Solid 2. And the interesting thing about it is not only is Metal Gear Solid 2 my very first Metal Gear Solid game, it's all that I completed, it's also the game that made me realize that video games are an art form.
Mm.
I had never seen a story delivered so well in a video game. And the ending of it, I was in awe of. I had never seen... So I'm not trying to brag here, but compared to other kids my age, I was a little further along in my reading. I had been reading Nietzsche, I had been reading other stuff, Asimov, I was a big reader. And a lot of the concepts that were being discussed at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2 were things I was familiar with. Which is why it was so fucking horrifying. When they're talking about these AIs that are basically able to rule the fucking world. And it basically predicted the digital age. And it...
Yeah, it did.
It was just this amazing thing, and then you go through all this discussion, and the fight between Raiden and Solidus was so gray at that point. What was a black and white battle suddenly became big time shades of gray. Because, in a weird way, Solidus was right about a lot of things. He was just going about it the wrong way. Chaos Sonic throws in another buck and says, my Metal Gear experience was Metal Gear Solid 1 on the GameCube. The one like Hatman, I hurt my thumb in the torture game, but it was worth it. Yeah, I love the Twin Snakes. The Twin Snakes is the definitive Metal Gear Solid 1 experience. Just because the controls are so much better. But then again, they were working with better tech, so that's to be expected.
They were working with the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine, basically.
Yeah, it was basically why I think PlayStation 1 games are ripe for remakes, is because you can run them on better engines and really kind of go exactly what you were looking for. Because Kojima basically said that the Twin Snakes was exactly how he wanted to do Metal Gear Solid originally. So, I actually wouldn't mind seeing the first game remade with the control style of 4. That would be interesting. But it would definitely make the Ocelot fight more challenging. Not to mention it'd be nice to fight Grey Fox with more control over your hand-to-hand. But anyway.
Yeah, really.
So, but yeah, suddenly the battle between Raiden and Solidus is... What Solidus represents is, in a sense, liberation. But he's evil. Mm-hmm. And then Raiden, if he wins, it means that the greatest threat to these AI that are controlling the goddamn world, like he's basically fighting for them. He's forced into that position. I had never seen a story like that before. It was such a fucking head spin, but I loved every second of it. And then finally, when you win, and the Snake's speech at the end of the game is fucking brilliant, and brilliantly delivered by David Hayter.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it was really one of the best pass the torch moments in video game history. The problem is that modern audiences at the time were not as familiar with Snake, obviously, as Kojima was. Because Kojima created him in the 80s. So it wasn't really time to pass the torch. But that's what the fourth game ended up being. And then Raiden took the torch and fucking ran with it in Revengeance. Which is why I played Rules of Nature. Because at the end of Revengeance, they don't really say it, but you could tell that Raiden has basically succeeded the lineage of the boss. He is now the ultimate soldier.
I still have not finished Revengeance. I bought it a long time ago and just played like the first level, and then I've not touched it since for some reason. It's always been on my list of stuff to get back to, but I haven't gotten back to it yet. I guess maybe because it was the Xbox 360 version, and I kind of wanted the PS3 version.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to shame you for that one because playing that on an Xbox controller is just a little uncomfortable. I prefer a PlayStation one.
That's the issue that I had with it, because I played the demo on the PS3, and I was like, this is so much better. The freaking being able to cut everything feels so much more natural.
Oh yeah. So yeah, can't shame me for that. Definitely play it on a PlayStation console, but definitely play it sometime soon. It's so worth it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I really want to. I've been wanting to for the longest fucking time.
But anyway, God, we've been talking about this 22 minutes already. The the crazy thing for me though is just that it really proved to me how you could really tell really good mature stories in video games. And then I went and I started seeking them out.
Levels too. Like, good God.
Yeah, and then after that I just started seeking them out.
Most layered stories.
And then like after that is when I finally got around to playing the first Metal Gear Solid. Because Twin Snakes didn't come out until my senior year of high school. And I snatched that up immediately. By the way, one thing I loved about the Twin Snakes, it was a remake that was priced at $40, which at the time was a fucking steal.
Let me see how much it is now, because it's
you can't. The problem that I have is like you can't get it anymore, unless you're buying a physical copy for a GameCube.
Holy shit! Yeah.
I imagine it's kind of expensive.
Oh, it's over $50.
Yeah. You can't get it digitally.
The case alone is like $40.
Yeah, you cannot get the game digitally anymore, or at all, and I don't think you can at all. So,
I, believe it or not, actually got Twin Snakes at a deal at GameStop. It was $30.
Mm-hmm.
When it was, and this was when like GameCube games were just on their way out.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this, sold.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think I was ever going to see it again. And I took a gamble on it because I'm like, oh, I don't know if the discs are going to be scratched up. The discs were in perfect shape. It's like the game had never been played before.
Yeah. You don't know what the main reason I'm pissed off about it, though? It's contracted as a Nintendo exclusive. And they've never ported it anywhere else. I would fucking love to play the Twin Snakes remastered on my fucking Switch. I would love to.
That'd be great.
But it's never going to happen.
Now, I don't know how they would go about doing that, since that'd be a Konami and Kojima issue.
Yeah, and that's the reason it's not going to happen.
I wish they would, because that would be fucking incredible.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love the way that they were able to make Snake feel a little bit more action hero-ish, but instead of making him Rambo, they made him kind of a mix between Rambo and Cleric John Preston.
I always kind of felt like they turned him into like a more realistic Neo. Just
sort of.
Maybe it's just because of the bullet dodging.
Actually, wait.
But
think of the stuff that he does in Twin Snakes, right? Now think of Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Oh my
He's Captain America.
Oh my God. Wow.
So for those of you who don't understand, like, Snake pretty much is the Captain America of his universe.
Yeah.
Then again, it's probably why I love him so much. You know?
Because Snake doesn't betray his ideals either. Like, no. He holds fast to them.
Stays with them until his death.
I mean, when confronted on them, he still pushes through. Big Boss Well, that's the biggest
Big
issue
Boss
that I
got
have
broken.
with Big Boss as a character.
Big
Yeah,
Boss is a character
he
with a
got
broken heart.
He got broken to the point where abandoned he abandoned his beliefs and tried to adopt what he thought the boss believed in,
Yeah.
which he only realized at the end of his life was totally wrong.
Yeah.
And that became his defining characteristic.
Yeah, because the boss did
he's
what she
definitely a
did
tragic
because
figure.
the boss did what she did because she loved her country.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then Big Boss is like, anarchy is the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
He becomes a fucking anarchist afterward.
Yeah, a militant anarchist at that.
Yeah, like it's totally the fucking opposite. Well, I don't know. Can you really call him like a true anarchist? Well, at least I know he definitely becomes an anarchist by the end, but the Patriots.
He's definitely an anarchist circa Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid 5. He's an anarchist.
Yeah, after he had the falling out with Zero, for sure he was.
Yeah.
But
Chaos Sonic says, now I want a picture with Snake and Cap shaking hands. I might at some point commission one of the artists that I work with on comic books to draw me what I will print out as a poster of Cap and Snake. You know. That would be the best crossover.
A quick Google search has a photo of Chris Evans as Solid Snake.
Yeah. That would be something that if I was writing for Marvel, I would push for.
Yeah.
Let me write a Captain America Metal Gear Solid crossover. That would be fucking incredible.
Very interesting.
So, it's that guy says, I've never played Metal Gear Solid. You guys are basically speaking Spanish. Sorry. Like, we're pretty hype about the series. So, let's go into...
Please play it. Or watch somebody play it. Like, it's worth your time. It is. It really is.
The funny thing about it, Dan Crenshaw looks like Big Boss. Politics are closer to Snake's. So, that's interesting. But I wonder if if I ever meet Dan Crenshaw, I'm gonna ask him, have you ever played the Metal Gear Solid games? Because, like seriously. But, he played Metal Gear Survive. In the words of Joseph Joestar, oh no!
Metal Gear Survive is not. No. It's not.
Yeah, we're not even going to go there. So Chaos Sonic donates $1, says, what price is it for me to review movies? It depends on if I own it or not. If I own it, it's 10. If I have to buy it, it's 20. But,
or if it's available on a streaming service.
Yeah.
Because I have access to all the streaming services, and I can provide stuff like that.
Yes. But anyway, so favorite Metal Gear story and gameplay. Go. So, which one do you think has the best story? Which one do you think has the best gameplay?
Best gameplay, I always enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 4. Best story, maybe it's nostalgia talking for me, but I would pick the first Metal Gear Solid over Metal Gear Solid 3.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love 3's story, I think the first one is a little tighter, and I like that a lot more. or not a lot more, but I like that more.
For me, the best gameplay is a tie between 4 and 5. The gunplay is really good. The enemy AI is better in 5, but that's because the tech's a lot better. I love the gun customization in
Lot better
both.
in 5 too.
Yeah. It's just like it's like 4 and 5. Like 4 is the first Metal Gear game that the controls felt great. You know, like in the previous games, they were pretty good. But sorry, I had to do the ocelot hand gesture there. But the Metal Gear Solid 4 just plays so smooth, you know, and it's very tense. Because in some of those areas, if you get in a gunfight, you're dead. And I love that about it. You know? Whereas in 5, there's a lot of situations you can shoot your way out of. You know? I mean, there have been missions in 5 where I have gone in full Rambo and had no problems. You know? Though there's just like little things in 5 I really like to do. Like, and people in the Discord server can actually attest to this because they've seen me play it. One thing that I love to do, I'll find something in a base that needs to be blown up. Whether it's like a radio tower or something like that. That is going to make my infiltration easier. I will plant explosives on it, and then I will move to the opposite side of the base and detonate the explosives. Because what happens is all the dudes go investigate the explosive. I sneak in, I grab my shit, and I sneak out. I love that stuff. Though there isn't much that's funnier than Fultoning somebody who is completely awake that you've been able to tell them to surrender, and they're screaming, and everybody around them's like, "What just happened?" So.
Oh man. Let me ask you this, because this is a common criticism that people have for Metal Gear and why they can't get into it. Did you find the story really difficult to understand across the entire series? Like, were you one of those people who needed the database?
No, I wasn't.
Came out with Metal Gear Solid 4.
I wasn't, but then again, I have a really good. I'm a sci-fi nut. A lot of people might, because I write so many fantasy elements, you would think that I'm a fantasy guy, but I'm not. I'm a sci-fi guy. I write fantasy stuff because I think that most fantasy sucks. So I want to make good fantasy. You know? Because Lazarus has fantasy elements to it, but it also has big sci-fi shit too. But, oddly enough, a lot of it inspired by Metal Gear Solid. In fact, there's actually... I have it in my craw that I want the cover for Project Lazarus #1 to be done by Yoji Shinkawa. If I could get him to do it. I don't know if he's open for commissions or anything like that. But it would probably cost me a lot of money, probably like $5,000. But just having a cover from Yoji Shinkawa would be amazing. But anyway. I was able to follow the story pretty well. The only thing that I found a little strange is it feels kind of obtuse, because it is both an espionage game. Kojima never called it a stealth game, by the way. He called it an espionage game.
Tactical espionage action. It's on the box of every fucking game.
Yeah. So,
except for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
And Metal Gear Rising. Lightning bolt action.
Yeah, because that's what it is. It's an action game. The thing about it was how sci-fi it would get. Like, it was like soft sci-fi in a lot of ways. But that is kind of, in my opinion, that's kind of the appeal. You know, because you can be a little crazier with it. You can be a little bit more comic bookish with it, in a sense. Like, Metal Gear Solid is the greatest comic book series that never existed. You know? You would think it's a fucking comic by the way it's presented. But it's not. There was a Metal Gear Solid comic series, but Kojima didn't write it. So it's not canonical. But you would think that, given how obtuse it can be at points. But sometimes obtuse is a good thing. You know? But no, I never really was one of the people that got confused by the story. I was always on it. I loved it too. I still love the story to Metal Gear. I think it's a unique take on certain political elements, questions of patriotism, questions of how much technology is too much. Are we going in the right direction as a society? What does liberty mean? What does it mean to be a soldier? What does it mean to be a patriot? Like, these are all questions that it asks, and I think it does it pretty well. Deloitte wants to know, because he donates $3, says, how would you write a Black Widow comic standalone free of SJW politics? Oddly enough, it would take some notes from Metal Gear Solid. You know, I would like to play with the idea of, because Widow is probably the character that is most similar to Solid Snake in Marvel, aside from Captain America. I would love to toy with the idea of where her loyalties truly lie. You know, why turn on the Russians? Why become an Avenger? Why try to be a hero when you're an assassin? So on and so forth. I would play with those ideas. You know, what does it all mean? Why does it mean the things that it means? So on and so forth. So Tyler Worship in the chat says, I love how Metal Gear Solid is grounded espionage thriller one second and insane sci-fi the next. Love the heavy themes it addressed. Yeah, me too. And I think that was one thing that I really, really respect about Kojima in general, is that he is able to tackle heavy themes in these kind of out there sci-fi stories. But then again, the history of sci-fi is that ability. You know, science fiction's done that for ages now. And I think that's why Kojima's always going to be one of my favorite creators, even though he is a goofy old hippie. So. All right. It's about that time. Let's get the questions. And somebody has already posted the cringe for us in general, but or in the anime section on the Discord server. So Alistair wants to know, or no, sorry, Holy Ninja wants to know, weirdest thing in Metal Gear. Psycho Mantis. But in a good way.
Weirdest? God bless. That's actually kind of hard.
There's a lot of weird shit.
There's a lot of weird shit. The fucking Monster Hunter thing in Peace Walker was kind of weird, to be honest.
Especially because Capcom created a monster that was based on Metal Gear Rex.
Yeah, that was actually kind of cool. But the Beauty and the Beast unit in 4, I always thought they were kind of weird.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast unit was pretty interesting.
Well, Crying Wolf specifically, I thought was really really weird because I'm like, how the fuck can she be in that suit and do that shit and not break every bone in her body?
I know, right?
It, it was
Love
so
that boss
fucking,
fight though.
so weird. The screaming mantis boss fight was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love that shit. And then the dolls that you can get afterwards too. Those were cool. um oh god.
Okay, so Serena just
The,
donated $1, so she has a quick question before you answer that. She
okay.
she basically wants to know your editing rates. So get with her on that when you have the chance.
Um
Don't say it out loud. Just get with her when you have the chance.
okay.
If you're not able to pick it up, I would definitely recommend Piper then.
Yeah. So
Anyway, weirdest thing.
yeah, Vulcan is also kind of weird.
Especially how he comes back.
Yeah.
Because the man on fire is fucking creepy.
Yeah. Okay. This is definitely the weirdest thing, but I love it a lot. Um, all of the fourth wall breaks in the last act of Metal Gear Solid 2, including the turn off your console right now, the mission is a failure.
Yeah.
I love that shit, but it is weird as hell, and it weirded me the fuck out when I played it.
Oh, goodness. Hey, Hatman. I hear it's amazing
Yeah.
when the famous giant purple stuffed worm in Flapjaw Space with a tuning fork does a raw blink on Harikiri Rock. I need scissors.
I need scissors.
61. Oh, I love that.
I'm sorry.
That's also
The
one of the
divorce is
weirdest
going really
things.
rough right now. I had to have you pay for lunch.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
it's funny as hell.
fucking the codec would not stop fucking going off. That whole fucking end.
Yeah.
Stop calling me, damn it.
Let's see what else we got
man.
here. Changus Spartanik wants to know, how would I write a Metal Gear story? I want to write the sequel to Revengeance.
Ooh. I think that's really the only place you can go at this point.
Yeah, I want to write Raiden. I don't want to write Snake. Snake's story is told.
You know.
I would love to write a definitely a story based on Revengeance that sort of shows a little bit more of like an official handling of the torch between Snake and Raiden. In basically, because one thing that I would establish is the bandana that Raiden wears over his eye is Snake's. And what I would do is I would have it that during the beginning of whatever game it would be, there would be a simple opening. It's in Alaska, and you see a little boy and a young woman playing with Siberian Huskies. And then it zooms over to a cabin.
No.
And it's
no.
Snake. No. It's Snake and Raiden sitting on Snake's porch, talking and sipping coffee. And basically Raiden telling him his future plans, but basically saying is like, I'm not really quite sure whether or not where to go with this. And then at the end of the conversation, Snake goes, I've taught you everything I know, but take this for luck. And it's his bandana. And I would definitely make it more of a mix between the traditional Metal Gear Solid gameplay and revengeance. Like, so when shit goes down, Raiden can use like a mix of firearms and his sword as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stuff like that. So,
Do you think having Otacon in there would be kind of essential
oh, definitely,
to
he'd show
make
up.
it a true succession story?
I would actually have it in the
I kinda
second
think so,
game that
too.
Otacon is once again Raiden's name on the radio, or man on the
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah, I kind of think that's necessary.
Yeah, and then I would have his. I'd bring back some of his support staff from the
But not
last
Otacon?
game, and I'd bring back Sunny because everybody loves Sunny to death. Have Sunny be his tech girl, basically.
Yeah.
You know, I think that
Put
that would
Mei
be
Ling
it.
in there for good measure.
Yeah. Yeah. The Holy Ninja Do kind of sums up how I would want the gameplay to be. Sort of is like Metal Gear May Cry. Sort of. I just think it would be kind of cool for Raiden to cut something in half, like a machine, cut a machine open and then fire a grenade launcher from an N16 into it and blow it up. All right. What else we got? Alistair wants to know thoughts on the IDW Ninja Turtles comic. I myself thought it was interesting until they brought in the fifth Ninja Turtle. Is that Venus that they brought in? Venus de Milo?
I don't know.
Or was she the first female Ninja Turtle? Because there's been more than one.
She was the first one.
Yeah, I don't know the new one.
She was the first one.
But I didn't even read it. Except the only part that I read was the Batman crossover, which was good. Changus sarcastically asks, so a giant flaming Pegasus chasing you that can survive a tank cannon but is slowed down by a shotgun is Kojima tackling heavy themes? No, it is it is him being weird. But I love him being weird. Servant wants to know, to end any further debate about Star Wars and Disney, if their investors force Disney to either undo, retcon the sequel trilogy, they or their money walks, would they do it even if that meant Kathleen Kennedy goes bye-bye? In that hypothetical, not going to happen situation, maybe. By the way, we got a couple donations. Chaos Sonic threw in $20, said for my Ex-Aid favorite character, there's also 20 to review Ex-Aid True End. And yes, watch the end credit scene. I'll send you the movie once I download it. Fair enough. And he just threw in another $1 to remind me that he sent me $20. There we go. So, definitely appreciate the generosity, by the way. It's very helpful, more than you guys know. I won't go into detail, but let's just say it helps. So that's it for the Discord server. What do we got for the chat?
That's it for Discord?
Shit.
We got Discord questions we had to do.
We do? No, somebody must have put a new one in there. No, the one from Servant was the last one.
Oh, okay. I thought we had another one. Oh no, it was asking about the delay. Never mind. Okay, so let's get to chat then. Okay, so Miguel wants a clarification. Going back to what you said earlier, the difference between a stealth action game and a tactical espionage action game.
Well, stealth action is tactical espionage. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
that's basically what the tactical espionage action means. It's a blend of the stealth and action genre. Basically meaning that the difference between something like Metal Gear Solid is that in its mechanics, there's a way to fight your way out of a shitty situation should you fail at the stealth element. Whereas Splinter Cell was just a stealth game for the longest time. If you failed at the stealth stuff, you were dead. You know, you would end up getting killed rather easily. So that's the major difference. Because people who are purists on stealth games fucking hate Metal Gear. Oh, shit. Ugh.
Source 100 asks, what are your thoughts on the theme of the supernatural being solely replaced by tech in Metal Gear Solid?
First, let me say that I'm actually very glad to see that Swordsman is here. I know he's been rather upset with me lately, so thank you for coming, buddy. Theme of the supernatural being slowly replaced by tech in Metal Gear Solid. I think that it's an interesting way that they do it, because some things feel like ghosts in somewhat, but really it's more of there's a scientific reason for it happening. Like some of the stuff that Psycho Mantis does, the same with the Man on Fire. They feel like ghosts, but they're not. You know, there's actually a particular reason why they happen. You know, they're phenomena that could be explained. You know, I love that sort of shit.
It was just nanomachines. Though, Fortune is the one that didn't make a whole lot of sense, because they straight up said, oh yeah, this can be easily explained by science, and then
turns out she is actually a psychic.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though. We knew psychics existed in Metal Gear because of Psycho Mantis. Yeah. So, like, a telepath was not too far out of the question.
Right.
So,
but it was just weird to see, like, oh no, this can be easily explained away, and then it just defied right there, like a minute later.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Dead Cell as antagonists.
Yeah.
Dead Cell was pretty good.
Fat Man was hilarious. Fat Man was fucking hilarious.
Laugh and grow fat. I just loved like he would try to talk elegantly, and then when you piss him off, he went to a Jersey accent. Because he was from Jersey. A lot of people don't realize that he was from Jersey. If I remember right, Jersey or New York, I don't remember which, but he would go to that accent, that kind of northeast coast accent.
It was so funny. It was so fucking.
Because Raiden mentioned something about the ransom. He goes, "Ransom? What are you talking about?" But no, the craziest part of the whole Dead Cell thing is Raiden fires 2 rounds at Fortune's head that would have killed her. And it hits Vamp instead, and you're like, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. Like, so that's interesting. And then Vamp doesn't fucking die. And you're sitting there like, what the actual hell?
Nanomachines, son.
Literally. And then, God, I feel so bad for Otacon in the second game, dude.
Oh.
Dude, that dude gets so fucking busted up.
Otacon just has shit luck, man.
Dude, his family fucking sucks. Like, his family life has been the worst. Like, his father's a piece of shit who killed his mother, his birth mother, by the way. Killed his birth mom. And his birth mom probably would have, or did love him, by the way. She died lamenting the fact that she was never going to know her own son. Like, the way Strangelove dies is a tearjerker. You know, and then he's sexually molested by his stepmother. Mm-hmm. And then his father, because his father's a piece of shit, tries to kill himself. But while he's doing it, tries to drown his stepsister. Mm-hmm. And by the way, his stepsister's a total sweetheart.
Yep.
Like, I really liked Emma Emmerich. You know? So, God, Metal Gear Solid 2 is a very sad game.
It
Like,
is.
all of the deaths in that game hit you like a kick in the nuts. But then again, that's another reason I like it. It feels like there's consequence. You know?
Otacon is just not meant to have a girl. Just period. Any woman close to him is just doomed,
Yeah.
completely fucking doomed.
It's sad, man. But like somebody says in the chat, Huey is the literal opposite of Otacon. Yeah, Huey's an evil
Yeah.
bastard. Whereas
Yeah.
Otacon is one of the best human beings you'd ever meet. True loyalty. The best friend you could ever ask for. That's part of why people like him so much.
Yeah. I mean, keep in mind, in the first fucking Metal Gear Solid, Snake is like, get out of here while you can.
Yeah.
And Otacon comes fucking back for him. He's like, no, I'm not. No, I can't leave you alone like that. I've got to do something.
Yeah.
Like, Otacon has balls. People don't realize it, but Otacon's got balls.
And then in Metal Gear Solid 4, he's kind of the voice of the audience when it comes to the sorrow about Snake's situation. Because everybody loves Snake. He's one of the most universally loved characters. I could only imagine how many copies of Smash that sold because Solid Snake was in it. You know? Let's see here. Chaos Sonic says, found the movie on Internet Archive. If you want, I can send you the link. Or would you rather just have it downloaded? Send me the link in the Discord server if you can. And I'll have a look. So. The cool thing about it, though, is that, technically speaking, Otacon has an adoptive daughter that he gets out of the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
And Sunny's great. So. I don't know. The weird... And this is part of the reason I like writing darker stories. Because Metal Gear Solid's pretty dark. When the light shines through, it shines so brightly it brings a tear to your eye. Because I'm thinking about like the happier stuff in Metal Gear Solid, and I'm actually starting to get a little misty-eyed. Because of how happy the happy stuff is. You know?
Yeah.
Like just the little things. Like when Sunny gets help from, what's her name? Why am I forgetting her name? Was Gray Fox's sister.
Oh, Naomi.
Yeah, when she gets help from Naomi in cooking eggs. Legit one of my favorite sequences of the video game series. Like, it's... There's just a level of happiness in it that you don't really get a lot of in Metal Gear Solid.
The wedding does it for me.
Yeah, the wedding
Well,
hits
really,
you.
even beyond that, when Big Boss hugs Snake in the graveyard there,
Yeah.
that Oh yes, Snake and Otacon's fucking bro handshake in Metal Gear Solid 2 also. Oh, my god, yes. Yes,
Chaos Sonic
awesome.
says, wasn't Revengeance originally supposed to be about Raiden saving Sunny? That's what I heard. So.
Yeah, I think that was what the concept was at first.
Alright. It is time for us to bring this week to a close.
Alright, overflow me, y'all.
Yep, so go ahead and overflow everybody. The Hatman, if you have overflow questions. If you didn't get a question answered during the course of the podcast. I'm going to go take a nap.
Nap time, okay.
Napping sounds pretty fucking awesome right now.
Excuse me.
And other than that, I want to thank Chaos Sonic, Serena, Del Lloyd, and Asami Ryuji Yamazaki for their, and Holy Ninjato as well, for their generosity this week. So we need to watch. Oh, I forgot Samurai Bear. I'm gonna see what this educational video on the sexuality of traps is.
Oh God.
Because this sounds awful. Oh, it's only a minute long. It's only a minute long. So we'll do that, and then we owe 2 anime cringe.
Isn't already bad enough by itself. Now you
2 anime cringe. And we thought we could just get out of here without it, huh?
Nope, but I want people to go ahead and start putting in overflow questions now. So, okay, so this is only a minute long. That's not too bad. I will send it to you via the Twitters.
The wedding. So who got married? I guess I can give a spoiler. Meryl gets married. Meryl and Johnny Sasaki. Damn it! Shut up. Oh, never mind. That's your DM.
Oh, cool. Hexblade Rex got his copy of, or Black Knight Rex got his copy of Inglewood today.
Cool. That wasn't one of the international copies, was it? Because I still need to make sure that those made it.
I do not know.
And stamps.com is kind of an asshole when it comes to that, since I had to send it to their international fulfillment center. But we'll figure it out. Okay, I have a video pulled up.
Alright, give me 1 second to pull it up for people to see. Wrong thing. There we go. Alright. Hitting the button in 3, 2, 1, go.
So as if anime isn't already bad enough by itself, now you motherfuckers are getting into a little something called traps. Basically, it's a dude that dresses like a chick, has a dick, and you say it isn't gay. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's fucking gay! If I walked up to you right fucking now, me being a dude and you being a dude, and you were turned on by me, that would be gay! It's no different for fucking traps. Just cause they dress like a chick don't mean they are a chick. They got a dick, and it's gay! And don't say the dick makes it cuter! Cause that doesn't make it cuter! That makes it even gayer! That makes you gay, bitch! And you send me pictures of them with their little skirts lifted and their fucking nuts hanging out. I don't want to see that shit. I'm not gay like you. Stop sending me hentai. Stop sending me anime pictures. Stop sending me traps. Oh my god.
Don't watch an anime labeled Boku.
I'm just going to say
That's
I
all
agree.
I can think about.
I'm just going to say I agree.
No, he's not wrong.
Traps
He's
are
not
gay.
wrong. Traps are gay. I don't give a single fuck what Aiden says. Traps are gay.
Yeah, Aiden, Scrump, you're wrong. Traps are gay.
Traps are gay.
Scrump can argue with me all day. He'll lose. Just saying.
Traps are gay.
Okay, so the next one is Tetris Gets an Anime.
Flash Kids.
Oh, okay.
Akarenga! What have you done with my...
Hold on.
Okay.
So this is a Flash Gets one, so this should be good.
Excuse me. Where's that? It's an anime?
Yes.
Oh god, this is Flash Gets again? Oh, Jesus. Alright.
You ready?
Tell me when.
3, 2, 1, go.
Flash Crash Kids?
Why is it not showing up in the OBS?
Akarenga! What have you done with my friends?
Ah, Tiru, you're just in time to join them. Because you've snared yourself in my Tetris Satsujin technique!
What? Oh no! I'm caught in his technique! And he's trapped Shikaku and Chikubi-chan in the blocks!
Oh, wow.
Damn it, Tiru.
Tiadu-san!
You have to choose, Tiru. Which of your precious friends will you save?
This is really bad. There's only 2 places I can land. If I land straight
Oh my
down,
God.
it'll kill Chikubi-chan. And if I land sideways, Shikaku-san is a goner. And in either scenario, I'm toast. Unless
Left side, you dumbass. End the fucking game.
there's
Lose.
no way around it. You're a fool, Akarenga! I choose neither! I'm gonna sacrifice myself and land upright!
Tiadu!
Sure, the ceiling will decapitate me, and that'll really suck. But it'll be worth it to save my friends.
If you do that, I'll kill them both
It'll
anyway.
suck to beat the cat.
Shit!
Shit!
Time is running out. Who do I choose? Shikaku-san's my best friend. We trained together at the orphanage.
Wow, you're getting stronger.
Not as strong as you, Shikaku.
Yeah!
That was a good hit.
I didn't mean to cut you. Here. We'll always be best friends, Tiru.
But then what about Chikubi-san? We've had some great times too. Settles it. I've made my decision!
What? That's impossible!
Oh, my God.
For a homo. And now, gay boy, you're next!
No! Impossible! Tiru is supposed to die and clear the path for me to land safely, thus ending my Tetris Satsujin. But now I've been trapped by my own technique, and there's nowhere for me to go! No! Fuck you, breeder!
Checkmate, Akarenga, you cunt.
What the fuck? You could have totally turned sideways and been fine.
Tiadu! You saved us!
Anime shit.
It was no pro. Jakubi-san.
Alright, we're getting a little not safe for work. Gotta stop there. Gotta stop there. Sorry, guys. That's hilarious, though. That was pretty goddamn funny. Alright, I think that's enough cringe. That's definitely enough cringe for this week.
I'm sorry, but you missed the fucking ending.
Well, I can't, because we'll get fucking...
Yeah, but oh my fucking god, the ending was fucking funny.
Alright, folks.
Oh my god.
On that note, we need to bring this to a close. So I'm going to go celebrate with ribs and pie and ice cream. So I shall have fun. Hatman, you better have fun too.
Well, I'm gonna be celebrating with packing a lot of Inglewood, so.
Well, I will let you get to it then. Alrighty, folks. We appreciate all of you, seriously. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know a lot of people tend to leave before we do, like, the, whenever we do the anime cringe. So, if you could, for those of you who are left, please do me a favor, hit that like button. We've only got 22 likes and 35 people watching right now, so let's get that to 35, seriously. Also, before we take off, the 3 nights, 4 days campaign has been extended another 30 days for those of you who missed the first 30. So now is the time to get it. One thing I'm going to say right now
We will not
is...
be adding more of the limited stuff. We're not adding more of that.
Yeah, we're not adding more of that. And on top of that, once we go in demand, the only things that will be available will be the original pages and sketches. The drawn in tier, we're pulling that because the book will be in full production by that point. So
Yes.
we've only had 5 people claim that so far. So there's 5 more spots. And you got 30 days to grab them. So I would definitely recommend that. So, all right. I think that's pretty much it. So, my name is Micah Curtis, your favorite Vanilla Gorilla.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, who is about to go print a lot of labels.
Yes. We'll see you guys soon. Dave's Fault.
Dave's fault.